Datta, Jai Guru Datta, Sri Guru 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 Datta. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadgurubhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Guru Datta and welcome to Datta Arpanam with your hosts Rishi Nirvan Balrup
and Ravita Singh. Jai Guru Datta, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music, and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Dr. Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji of Avadhuta Dattapitam in Mysuru. Today's program begins with the offering of pranams, gratitude, and this invocation prayer at the sacred feet of beloved Sadgurudeva Pujya Shri Swamiji, as this show, possible only through His divine grace, is offered to him.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Ganapati Gurumekam Satchidananda Rupam, Vibudhanivaha Sevyam Yogamargadhirudham, Sharanamupagatanam Ati Sanghadivajram, Mama Hridaya Nivasam Bhakti Namro Namami. Once again, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to this morning's edition of Datta Arpanam. Today's program is being brought to you through the kind courtesy of Valini's Drug Mart Limited of 58 to 60 Sutton Street, San Fernando, Debe Supermart Limited of 182 SS Erin Road, Debe, Coquier Supermart Limited of 14 Naparima Mayaro Road, San Fernando, and Samson Insurance Brokers Limited of 1126 SS Erin Road, Debe, and 225 Southern Main Road, Warrenville, Cunupia.
Today, 3 days before the start of the month of February, there is a lot of excitement as we prepare to celebrate the Sahasra Chandra Darshanam of Parama Pujya Shri Swamiji. You will hear more about this special celebration later in today's program, but for now, let us worship the remover of obstacles, Lord Ganapati, before continuing from where we left off last week's Shatashloki Ramayanam contemplation.
You can find the lyrics to today's first bhajan by entering bhajan ID number 15 on the Bhajanmala app or on the website www.bhajanmala.com. If each of us joins together to sing this song of worship this morning, then each of us reaps the benefits of all of us singing. So please, let us join voices and fill the atmosphere with positive, obstacle-clearing vibrations. Once again, the bhajan ID number is 15.
Gana 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 Ganapati Kodu 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 Sanmati Gana 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 Ganapati Hey Kodu 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 Sanmati Ganapati Kodu 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 Sanmati Gana 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 Ganapati Kodu 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 Sanmati Kodu 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 Sanmati Hey Kodu 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 Sanmati Kodu 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 Sanmati ಒಳಗೊಳಗಿರುವ ಕೊಳಗನು ತೆಗೆವ ಒಳಗೊಳಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಲಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಗಿವ ಒಳಗೊಳಗಿರುವ ಕೊಳಗನು ತೆಗೆವ ಲಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಒಳಗೆಲ್ಲಗೆವ ಮುಳುಗಿಗೆ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿಗೆ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕರುಣ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿಗೆ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿಗೆ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹರೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಕೊಡ ಗಣ 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 ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹರೇ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಲಾಲ ಲಲ್ಲ ಲಾಲ ಲಾಲಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಒಳಗೊಳಗಿರುವ ಕೊಳೆಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆವ ಒಳಗೊಳಗಿರುವ ಕೊಳೆಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆವ ಕೊಳೆಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆವ ಕೊಳೆಯನ್ನು ತೆಗೆವ ಮುಳುಗಿಗೆ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಕೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿಗೆ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಕೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಲಿ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ನೀನೆ ಗಣಪತಿ ನೀನೆ ಗಣಪತಿ ನೀನೆ ಗಣಪತಿ ನೀನೆ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನೀನೆ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನೀರೇ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನೀರೇ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನೀರೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಹೇ ಲಲ 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 ಹೇ ಲಲ 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 ಹೇ ಲಲ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಲಲ 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 ಹೇ ಲಲ 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 ಹೇ ಲಲ 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 ಹೇ ಲಲ 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 ಹೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಗಣ 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 ಗಣಪತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ ಹೇ ಕೊಡು 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ 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 ಸನ್ಮತಿ
In the second charanam of that bhajan, the word Ganapati means leader of the Ganas, while the word Ganapati means the king or the father of music. Is it any wonder then that Lord Ganapati's namesake, Parama Pujya Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, is the maestro of music who composed and rendered that divine composition? You are tuned in to Datta Arpanam, which is coming to you today on 103.1 FM through the grace of Parama Pujya Shri Swamiji and thanks to the sponsorship by Samtran Insurance Brokers Limited, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited and Kokie Supermart Limited.
Over the past 2 weeks on Datta Arpanam, through study of Pujya Appaji's teachings on that condensed version of Srimad Ramayanam known as Shatashloki Ramayanam, you have been hearing of the greatness of Rama Rajyam or Lord Rama's rule. Well, today, as we prepare for the auspicious time in Pujya Appaji's life, his Sahasra Chandra Darshana, we continue to hear more about those auspicious times back in Treta Yuga when Lord Rama ruled over Ayodhya.
Today, as Pujya Appaji chants the second half of Shloka 93 and the first half of Shloka 94 of Shatashloki Ramayanam, as you are always encouraged to do during this interactive hour on Datta Arpanam, please join him in chanting. You can find the words to Shatashloki Ramayanam on the Bhajan Mala app or website. Simply open the app or web page, enter Stotra ID number 2295 and for today's padas, scroll down to Shloka 93.
నగరాణి చ రాష్ట్రాణి ధనధాన్యయుతాని చ నిత్యం ప్రముదితా సర్వే యథాకృతయుగే తథా.
Having already retold some of what was taught to him by his guru Narada Maharishi, Valmiki Maharishi continues to describe the wonder of Rama Rajyam. He says, Nagarani, cities, cha, as well as Rashtrani, villages, Dhanadhanya Yutani cha, were also rich in food, grains and wealth. Tata, in the same way, Yatha Krita Yuge, as in Krita Yuga, Sarve, everyone, Nityam, was always, Pramudita, happy.
Putting the individual words and phrases together now, in these 4 padas, Valmiki Maharishi says that food, grains and wealth were bountiful in every village, town and city during Rama's rule. All citizens were happy, blissful and contented as if it were Krita Yuga.
And a point worth mentioning here is that starting with Krita Yuga, then moving to Treta Yuga, then Dwapara Yuga, and finally to Kali Yuga, people become less and less inclined towards divinity. Because of this, more and more suffering is experienced as one moves through the 4 yugas in that order. So when Valmiki Maharishi says that during Rama's rule, people were as happy as persons were during Krita Yuga, that alone gives us an idea of the divinity inspired by Lord Rama's physical presence or by his rule.
Listeners, there is no doubt that in this age of Kali, there's an abundance of hardship, an abundance of suffering. But when one stays close to Guru, when one follows Guru's teachings, when one makes use of the short, direct, inspirational, uplifting messages Pujya Appaji sends every day on the free app SGS Posts, Kali Yuga does not feel like Kali Yuga. Love for Pujya Sri Swamiji, devotion to him, faith that he is always with us, all of these bring us a level of peace, a level of bliss that are contrary to the common emotions associated with Kali Yuga.
And while we aspire to build and nurture that closeness to him, that devotion to him, his bhajans help to ensure that we do not lose our way. Since Nama Sankirtana, or chanting divine names, singing divine names, purifies our minds and our hearts, doubts, anger, jealousy, greed, gluttony, anxieties, they all settle as divinity spirits. So feel divinity spirit within you now as you join Pujya Appaji once again in song, this time as he worships Mother Goddess. You can find the lyrics to the bhajan by entering bhajan ID number 7342 on the Bhajan Mala app or on the website www.bhajanmala.com.
అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించి దైవం లేదురా, అమ్మను మించిన వాడు వేరే లేరురా.
అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించిన దైవం లేదురా, అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా.
అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించి దైవం లేదురా, అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా.
అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించిన దైవం లేదురా, అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా.
లేనే లేరురా,
లేనే లేరురా.
అమ్మను చూసే కన్నులు ఎన్నడు కలిని చూడవురా.
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 అమ్మను పలికే నాలుకకెప్పుడు పాపము అంటదురా.
అమ్మను పలికే నాలుక
పాపము అంటదురా
పాపము అంటదురా
అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించిన దైవం లేదురా అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా
అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించిన దైవం లేదురా అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా
అమ్మను మననం చేసే మనసు మలినం ఉండదురా
అమ్మను మననం చేసే మనసుకు మలినం ఉండదురా
అమ్మను మననం చేసే మనసు మలినం ఉండదురా
అమ్మను మననం చేసే మనసుకు మలినం ఉండదురా
సచ్చిదానందము ఇచ్చే అమ్మను ఎన్నడు మరువకురా
సచిదానందం ఇచ్చే అమ్మను ఎన్నడు మరువకురా
ఎన్నడు మరువకురా
ఎన్నడు మరువకురా అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించిన దైవం లేదురా అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు
లేనే లేరురా
అమ్మలగన్న అమ్మను మించిన దైవం లేదురా అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా
అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా
అమ్మను మించిన వారెవరు లేనే లేరురా
A beautiful, captivating Devi bhajan composed and rendered by the present-day Avadhuta of Lord Dattatreya, Parama Pujya Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, here on Datta Arpanam.
Today's program is coming to you on 103.1 FM through Puja Sri Swamiji's grace and thanks to the sponsorship by Samtran Insurance Brokers Limited, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Koke Supermart Limited. Special thanks go out to them as they do to you, dear listener, for sharing this auspicious Sandhya hour with us.
Earlier in today's program, you heard how Ayodhya thrived during Lord Rama's rule. In fact, during the Lord's rule, even the kingdoms of his subordinates were thriving. There was no shortage of wealth anywhere. Everyone was always contented, always happy. Every variety of crop grew abundantly, and as a result, no one ever had to face a food shortage. Since the economic well-being of every citizen was intact, the question of taking loans, being indebted, and having to pay interest on those debts did not exist, not even remotely.
As you heard earlier, Krita Yuga is the first amongst the 4 eons or the 4 yugas. In Krita Yuga, Dharma stands on its 4 legs. Those 4 legs are Satya or truthfulness, Daya or compassion, Tapas or penance, and Dana or charity.
What was special about Krita Yuga was that every human being stringently abided by dharma and was always truthful. And because of this, each person led an absolutely healthy, disease-free life. So you see, we are being told the secret to a disease-free life: truthfulness, compassion, penance, and charity.
In Krita Yuga, peace and contentment prevailed throughout society. Every human was magnanimous or big-hearted in nature, and each person displayed feelings of love, affection, and friendliness towards the other members of the society. Ahimsa or non-injury was the practiced norm. No one coveted the possessions of another. Words like quarreling and fighting were unknown to society.
Every day in Krita Yuga was spent in contemplation upon the Almighty. Every person strived hard to get a good reputation in the society. At all times, people engaged themselves in only good, meritorious deeds. In every aspect of life, they were competent. People of all the 4 stages of life led their life exactly as dictated to them by the scriptures. Every being was steadfast in penance or tapas. Self-centeredness did not exist. It was unheard of.
Using dharma as their support, artha or material earnings and kama or fulfillment of desires were achieved. And because of this, all towns, cities, and villages flourished abundantly. Crops were abundant.
Sri Rama ruled during the eon following Krita Yuga. In other words, he ruled during Treta Yuga. Yet his rule was such that the living conditions of Krita Yuga were again repeated. Treta Yuga was a period when evil-minded persons and strong, valiant heroes were in great numbers. They troubled the saints as well as the noble-minded persons. Quarrels and disputes were common. Unhappiness prevailed amongst the people. The society had degenerated. It was overall a treacherous period.
But nothing is impossible when God or Guru is in charge. Rama took up the reins of the kingdom and converted Treta Yuga into Krita Yuga. He made sure that devotion and contemplation on the Almighty became norms in society. And coming across these words of Puja Appaji, I couldn't help but be reminded of the lockdown period during the COVID-19 pandemic. Puja Appaji single-handedly turned an otherwise chaotic, frightening time into a time of peace, a time of contemplation, a time of spiritual growth, as daily, for an average of 2 consecutive hours, he would discourse on Mahabharata. Every day, more than 1,000 persons from across the globe would tune into Avadhuta Datta Pitam's live streams for these discourses, which were life-changing.
Through these live streams, Puja Appaji not only taught the entire Mahabharata, but he also showed us that our experiences are, yes, at least in part determined by our prarabdha karma or our pre-existing karma, but he also showed us that our present actions also determine our state of mind. There is so much vile stuff out there on the internet, yet Facebook, via Avadhuta Datta Pitam's page, was converted to a place of divine contemplation during the pandemic. Devotees who stayed in to listen to the discourses were offered a reason to stay in instead of going out and running the risk of exposing themselves to the COVID-19 virus, especially in the pre-vaccination days. Feelings of fear and of worry would vanish as one saw Puja Appaji or heard him pray for devotees, or as one got caught up in his vibrant storytelling. Like Lord Rama converted Treta Yuga into Krita Yuga, Puja Appaji changed the pandemic experience for thousands.
He most definitely did. From discourses to calling devotees while live on Facebook to conducting bhajan sessions, he gave devotees something to look forward to each and every day. Let us join now and show him how grateful we are and will always be for transforming this age of Kali into a more pleasant, endurable period. As a way of thanking him for his divine bhajan compositions, let us join him now in Vedanta in the form of song.
The bhajan Guru Padamo begins by saying that the feet of Guru and the lotus feet of Lord Datta are one and the same. They are identical. They are eternal and true and bless us. Lord Datta has given his lotus feet as a gift to us. They are the abode for us.
Listeners, please open the Bhajanmala app or website to Bhajan ID number 2228 and join Puja Appaji in singing this beautiful Telugu bhajan.
శరణం గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం గురుదత్త పాదము దత్త గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము దత్త గురుపాదము దత్త దత్త పాదము నిత్య సత్య పాదము దత్త దత్త పాదము నిత్య సత్య పాదము
గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం
బ్రహ్మలోకమందు తత్వబోధమిచ్చు పాదము ఇంద్రలోకమందు భోగ భాగ్యమిచ్చు పాదము మనుజలోకమందు వాంఛితార్థమిచ్చు పాదము భక్తలోక బంధు కృప సుధల నిచ్చు పాదము భక్తలోకమందు కృప సుధల నిచ్చు పాదము గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం బ్రతుకులోన తారసిల్లి భక్తి పెంచు పాదము బ్రతుకులోన తారసిల్లి భక్తి పెంచు పాదము ఇంటింటికి తిరిగి హితము పంచు పాదము ఇంటింటికి తిరిగి హితము పంచు పాదము హృదయమందు కొలువు తీరి వెలుగుతున్న పాదము హృదయమందు కొలువు తీరి వెలుగుతున్న పాదము సహస్రార చక్రమందు వెన్నలైన పాదము సహస్రార చక్రమందు వెన్నలైన పాదము గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం శిరసు మీద నిర్మాల్యపు పుష్పమైన పాదము శిరసు మీద నిర్మాల్యపు పుష్పమైన పాదము గుండె మీద రుద్రాక్షల మేరు పూస పాదము గుండె మీద రుద్రాక్షల మేరు పూస పాదము మనసులోన మరుపెరుగ ధ్యానధార పాదము మనసులోన మరుపెరుగ ధ్యానధార పాదము జీవితాన అందివచ్చు పుణ్యఫలం పాదము జీవితాన అందివచ్చు పుణ్యఫలం పాదము గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం బ్రహ్మ కొరకు చూపియున్న పాదము రేణుకాంబ బ్రహ్మ కొరకు చూపియున్న పాదము తన కుమారు నొప్ప చెప్పి ఎత్తిపడిన పాదము సూర్య రోగ హతికి సిద్ధ మూలికనిన పాదము సూర్య రోగ హతికి సిద్ధ మూలికనిన పాదము తనక భిన్న శక్తియను చాటియున్న పాదము తనక భిన్న శక్తియను చాటియున్న పాదము గురుపాదము
గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము
దృష్టి చెరువునెల్ల తూరపార పెట్టిరి తపో దృష్టి చెరువునెల్ల తూరు పారబట్టిరి సంజువేళ ముల్లోకపు మూల తెల్ల జుట్టిరి మునులు సురులు గూడ జాడ పట్టలేకపోయిరి ఇదిగో నా ఎదలో దాగే దత్త పాదము ఇదిగో నా ఎదలో దాగే దత్త పాదము దాగే దత్త పాదము దాగే దత్త పాదము
గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం.
పూజ సారము దత్త సద్గురు పాదము సర్వ పూజ సారము వాంఛ సంగ త్యాగము వాంఛ సంగ త్యాగము వృత్తి సంతుల భాగము సచ్చిదానంద ఖండము సచ్చిదానంద ఖండము దత్త సద్గురు పాదము గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం గురుపాదము గురుపాదము గురుదత్త పాదము మాకు శరణం. పాదము మాకు శరణం
That bhajan ends by saying that the undisturbed state of eternal bliss is nothing but enjoyment derived from the presence of Lord Datta Sadguru's lotus feet. May those feet dwell in the hearts of all for all time.
Jai Guru Datta. You were just listening to the Avadhuta of Lord Dattatreya, Parama Puja Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, as he rendered that self-composed bhajan here on Datta Arpanam. Thank you for joining with us today for this hour of devotion, which is coming to you through Puja Sri Swamiji's grace and through the sponsorship by Samtran Insurance Brokers Limited, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Koke Supermart Limited.
If Puja Appaji is Datta Sadguru and the presence of Datta Sadguru's feet brings eternal bliss, then you do not want to miss out on the opportunity to have the darshan of those feet when they arrive on local shores in just under 2 months' time.
That's right. Parama Puja Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, the present day Avadhuta of the Holy Trinity of Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, will be arriving in Trinidad on March 25th, 2023, and he will be here until April 10th, 2023.
And arriving just a few days before him will be his second-in-command, Pujya Shri 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 Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji.
While they are both here, the powerful and much anticipated Maharudra Yagam will take place at the home of Trinidad's 85-foot Lord Hanuman Murti, the Sri Dattatreya Yoga Center in Karapi, Chaima.
All are welcome to take advantage of the opportunity to not only be present at such an auspicious event, but to also be in the presence of those holy padas, those holy feet, the divine feet of the present-day incarnation of the aspect of Lord Dattatreya, Parama Pujya Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji.
Today you've been hearing about the way Treta Yoga appeared to be Krita Yoga during Lord Rama's rule. The Lord destroyed the pride of all the powerful, evil-minded persons during Treta Yuga, and in so doing, he was able to bring about the traits of purity or Sattva Guna in one and all.
In Treta Yuga, people's inclination to follow a dharmic life or to perform their obligatory duties had decreased under the influence of demons such as Ravana. To re-establish dharma, to re-establish the adherence to duty, the Supreme Lord incarnated as Rama. Under his able rule, he reinstated the supremacy of dharma. Even the birds, animals, trees, and plants began to abide by dharma. It is no wonder then that the villages, towns, and cities all flourished. The entire earth was rendered peaceful and happy. The cumulative result was that this period in Treta Yuga turned out to be akin to Krita Yuga.
Sri Rama was a karma yogi. You may wonder why, if he is the Supreme Lord, was it important for him to be a karma yogi? Surely, if he was the Supreme Lord, he was already self-realized. So why then was he a karma yogi if karma yoga leads one to jnana yoga? Well, Sri Krishna explained it nicely in shlokas 22 and 23 of chapter 3 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita when he said, Na me pathasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam varta eva cha karmani yadi hyaham na varteya jatu karmanya tandritaha mama vartmanu vartante manushyav partha sarvashaha. In these shlokas, Sri Krishna encouraged Arjuna, who was reluctant to perform his warrior duties, to follow his, meaning Sri Krishna's, example. Arjuna, said the Lord, in all the three worlds there's nothing that I have to do. There's nothing that I have gained, and there's nothing for me to gain in the future. Still though, to be a role model to the world, I keep performing actions. If I become negligent in my duties, others will follow my example.
Rishi, I heard you give the translation to those shlokas, and it suddenly hit me how applicable this is to Pujya Sri Swamiji as well. He is 80. He will be 81 in just under 4 months' time. Yet he is constantly traveling around India, around the world, to spread dharma, to steer devotees in the right direction. And just like even when the worst calamities landed on Lord Rama's head, he did not shrink under their weight, just like he very boldly abided by dharma, and just like he strictly abided by his duties or kartavya, Puja Appaji does the same. And in so doing, he teaches us through his own actions.
When Lord Rama followed the path of karma to emerge victorious, he taught the world that success can be achieved through this path, through the path of karma yoga. And by simply following the footsteps of such a great Lord, the mind, speech, and actions of all the people were rendered pure. This helped them to be as happy, blissful, and contented as their predecessors, the people of Krita Yuga. Om Sita Ramabhyam Namaha.
Listeners, let us too follow in the footsteps of Puja Appaji. Let us lead divine lives. And if you have not done so to date, it does not mean that you cannot do so now. As Puja Appaji has said on the free app SGS posts, don't look back, you are not headed that way. So everyone, keep your eyes, your inner eye, on God, on Guru. He will never lead you astray. Visualize him now, within you, around you, all-encompassing, as you join with Pujya Sri Swamiji once again, this time in chanting the powerful mantra which was gifted to the world in 2018 to help prepare our minds and hearts for the upcoming Maharudra Yagam. Let us chant Shivaya Rudraya Namaha.
Shivaya Rudraya Namaha. Shivaya Rudraya Namaha. Shivaya Rudraya Namaha. Shivaya रुद्राय नमः शिवाय 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 रुद्राय नमः रुद्राय नमः शिवाय रुद्राय नमः शिवाय रुद्राय नमः शिवाय रुद्राय नमः
You were just listening to the voice of divinity incarnate, Paramapujya Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, here on Datta Arpanam. Earlier you heard that Puja Appaji's Sahasra Chandra Darshana is coming up. But what exactly does this mean? Well, according to ancient Hindu tradition, someone's lifespan is not measured in calendar years. Instead, it is measured by the number of full moons he or she witnesses. Sahasra Chandra Darshana is the celebration of the 1000th full moon during a person's lifetime. It is a very special occasion.
The time between similar lunar phases, what is known as the synodic month, represents on average 29.5 days. So witnessing 1000 moons equates to being alive for 29,000 days or 80.8 years.
In other words, by the Western calendar, a duration of 1000 moons equates to a duration of 80 years and 10 months. In practice, this ritual is traditionally celebrated 3 full moons prior to the person's 81st birthday.
The Sahasra Chandra Darshana is one of the few age-based rituals prescribed by the sages, and it is believed to revitalize the body, bestow mental and physical strength, as well as a full healthy life, and it also enriches the pursuit of spiritual liberation.
This extremely important milestone in Pujya Sri Swamiji's life is being celebrated from February 1st to February 5th, 2023. So you are encouraged to join thousands of devotees worldwide as they join in celebrating this momentous occasion. Be sure to like the Avadhuta Datta Pitam Facebook page and opt to be alerted when they go live so that you can witness for yourself these auspicious celebrations.
There's a story which gives a glimpse into how big a deal the Sahasra Chandra Darshana ritual is. Once Rukmini, Lord Krishna's consort, asked him to tell her who he worships while the whole universe worships him. The Lord's response was, Nityanadatta Niratagnihotre Vedanta Vijandra Sahasradarshi Masopavasi cha pativrata cha Shadjiva loke mama vandaniyaha. In this shloka, the Lord listed to Rukmini those to whom he offers worship. They are those who offer food daily to the needy, those who are well versed in the Vedas, those whose word, deed, and thought are one, those who do daily fire ceremonies, those who observe monthly fasting, those who in their lifetime have seen at least 1000 moons or Chandra Sahasra Darshi, and women who are chaste.
So, if Sri Krishna Paramatma himself, by his own admission, worships a Chandra Sahasra Darshi, and if, as we heard earlier, the Lord constantly teaches us through his actions, does this not tell us that we too should worship one who is a Chandra Sahasra Darshi? So let us do just that, as through this bhajan composed and rendered by Sri Krishan Kumar, we worship that son of Mata Jayalakshmi, that one of divine radiance, that king of tapas, that one to whom Sri Chakra Puja and Homa are dear, that Nada Maestro, that Avadhuta of Lord Dattatreya, Paramapujya Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji.
श्री गुरुनाथ सच्चिदानन्द जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
सुन्दर मोहन जय लक्ष्मी बाला नंद गोपाला नमो नमो
नंद गोपाला नमो नमो श्री गुरुनाथ सच्चिदानन्द जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
पूर्णयखण्ड दिव्य तेज पूर्णयखण्ड दिव्य तेज तपस्वी राजा नमो नमो
तपस्वी राजा नमो नमो
श्रीचक्र पूजा ओम प्रिया स्वामी श्रीचक्र पूजा ओम प्रिया स्वामी नाद स्वरूपा नमो नमो
नाद स्वरूपा नमो नमो श्री गुरुनाथ सच्चिदानन्द जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
नाम संकीर्तन अलख निरंजन नाम संकीर्तन अलख निरंजन शुद्ध चैतन्य नमो नमो
शुद्ध चैतन्य नमो नमो
गोरखनाथ मत्स्येन्द्रनाथ गोरखनाथ मत्स्येन्द्रनाथ दत्तावधूता नमो नमो
दत्तावधूता नमो नमो
श्री गुरुनाथ सच्चिदानन्द जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
सुन्दर मोहन जय लक्ष्मी बाला नंद गोपाला नमो नमो
नंद गोपाला नमो नमो
श्री गुरुनाथ सच्चिदानन्द जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
जय गुरुनाथ नमो नमो
And with that, everyone, today's episode of Datta Arpanam approaches its end. Pranams and gratitude are offered at the divine feet of beloved Sadgurudeva, Parama Pujya Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji and Shri 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 Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, without whose teachings, compassion, love, guidance and music, this program would not exist.
Pranams to you, Puja Appaji and Sri Bala Swamiji. Kindly forgive any errors which may have been committed in preparing or in sharing today's episode of Datta Arpanam, and please guide us to avoid such errors in the future.
Special thanks are extended to the staff at 103.1 FM and to the sponsors of Datta Arpanam, Samtran Insurance Brokers Limited, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited and Kokie Supermart Limited. And of course, dear listener, your company today was both a blessing and an honor. So thank you.
Remember, if you'd like to listen to today's offering again, the podcast will be uploaded to 103.1 FM's website tomorrow evening. Simply visit www.103fm.tt, click on podcasts and scroll down to Datta Arpanam. Alternatively, you can also access the link via the Datta Arpanam Facebook page.
Once again, everyone, thank you for tuning in today. You are invited to please tune in to 103.1 FM again next Sunday at 6 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time for another episode of Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji.
In the meantime, remember to check out the Avadhuta Dattapitam Facebook page for live coverage of the Sahasra Chandra Darshana Mahotsava, which is taking place from February the 1st to the 5th, 2023. Jai Guru Datta, everyone.
Shri Guru Datta. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
सूर्यदेव मां पाहि हे सूर्यदेव मां पाहि हे सूर्यदेव मां पाहि हे सूर्यदेव मां पाहि కరుణవీము దిన కరుణవీము శ్రీ కరుణు తీ కరుణు శంకరుణవీము భాస్కరుణవీము దిన కరుణవీము శ్రీ కరుణు తీ కరుణు శంకరుణవీము గ్రహపతివి నీవు జనపతివి నీవు శ్రీ సచ్చిదానంద శుభమూర్తి నీవు గ్రహపతివి నీవు జనపతివి నీవు శ్రీ సచ్చిదానంద శుభమూర్తి నీవు శ్రీ సచ్చిదానంద శుభమూర్తి నీవు హే సూర్యదేవ మాం పాహి హే సూర్యదేవ మాం పాహి హే సూర్యదేవ మాం పాహి హే సూర్యదేవ మాం పాహి ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి